It's a little bit unsavoury in places.
Oh, good.
Also, slightly illegal. Also,
what?
Don't try any of the
Obviously.
activities.
Yeah, don't do it at home.
In this confessional.
Love all the warnings.
Yeah, it's also topical.
Oh.
For reasons you're about to find out, Ken has sent in today's confession. Father Simon, reaching the age of 51 and not having addressed these issues which have haunted me because of my wrongdoings till this point in my life is now causing me problems. I feel that as you grow older, certain things that may have appeared acceptable back in the day no longer appear acceptable. The year is 1986. I was 14 years old and a man's man, I have to tell you.
Okay.
I knew everything that there was to know and I didn't need help from anybody. I remember that 14-year-old feeling. We had recently moved into a new large family home provided by my extremely hard-working father. One summer Saturday evening, we decided to host our first family barbecue in the new expansive back garden. It was decided that we would invite our great family friends, the Archer family, and this suited everybody because it meant that my mother and father had their two closest friends, and us 4 children had our 2 best friends as well. Well, the barbecue had started, and we were all enjoying the great food and great company. It also been decided, by the way, it was the ideal evening for my father to crack open his first ever batch of homemade ElderFlower wine.
Oh, great.
Yes. This was going down an absolute storm with the adults, and so at the age of 14, I felt I was old enough and responsible enough to give it a try. I realise now that with the maturity of years, that this was an incorrect decision, and I do not encourage anyone to indulge in a similar way.
Okay.
Every time I walked past the drinks table, I would take a quick swig from the elderflower wine and then quickly be on my way. Not long after eating my barbecue food, I remember feeling rather faint and deciding that I should go for a small lie down. I remember walking into my bedroom and somehow walking straight into the wardrobe. I then fell to the floor and proceeded to vomit everywhere. At this point, I simply got up off the floor and lay on my bed, fell asleep. A short while later, my mother, on coming into the house to use the toilet, came upstairs to see if I was okay and was horrified to be greeted by the vomit-covered carpet. At this point, I was interrogated as to what had happened. I pleaded complete ignorance to the vomit, stating that I had not noticed it on the floor and I had nothing to do with it. I was asked for an explanation as to how it appeared on my floor. I proceeded to tell the story about how our black Labrador, Susie, I've changed the name.
Good. We've changed the name of the dog.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay.
It must have climbed the stairs, walked into my bedroom, vomited over the carpet, and then left. I was adamant with the story. I didn't waver for a single moment. My mother commented that it was very strange and unusual that Susie appeared to have been eating hamburgers and hot dogs and consuming elderflower wine, maybe. Anyway, the problem is that my crimes did not stop there.
Oh.
My elder sister, it transpires, had been the one that told my mother of my liberal wine tasting.
Ugh.
So I felt that justice needed to be done somewhere, somehow. Whilst the rest of the family were in the garden enjoying the barbecue and the summer evening with the family friends, I proceeded to find my sister's collection of 5 various Barbie dolls. Yes. Barbie dolls in the news at the moment. Once located, I found the carving knife that my father used to carve the traditional Sunday roast. And at this point, I proceeded to cut off the many Barbies' arms, legs, and heads.
Okay.
This is taking a turn.
I placed the dismembered Barbies back in the box and returned the box. Later that evening, my sister discovered the horrific and heinous act that had taken place to a collection of Barbies. There was an instant interrogation. Me and my 2 brothers were lined up for a strict inquisition to find out who had carried out this most horrific of murderous events. I remained extremely composed and serious throughout the interrogation, and I stuck to my story rigidly and was adamant that I had played no part in the crime. This interrogation went on for at least an hour, but I kept to my story, and so at the end, it was still a family mystery. Nobody had been proven guilty for this crime. I ask for a sacrament of reconciliation, a forgiveness of my sins, therefore, full apologies to, in order of importance, Susie, my most adorable black Labrador. Please forgive me. I'll see you on the other side. Oh, okay. Barbies everywhere. I apologize for my horrific behavior and the traumatic experience I put you through with the carving knife. To the Archer family, purely for the embarrassment I burden you with, and lastly to my family, mum, dad, brother and sister, sorry for everything that I put you. Okay, we got this sort of grovelling apology thing, although it goes on for quite a few pages. Can I seek forgiveness? Oh, can I seek forgiveness? Very good.
There it is.
For these wrongdoings and lighten the load bearing down on me, says Ken. Ken and his Barbies, eh? Anyway, the Barbie film obviously opening very shortly. Sister Jackie, what do you say to Ken, please?
I'm fine with the butchering of the Barbies. Done more harm than good, in my esteemed opinion. However, I cannot forgive the pointing of the finger at poor Susie, that obviously not her real name, the dog, being blamed for the burger, hot dog, elderflower wine vomit on the carpet. That's unacceptable.
So, not forgiven. I would say whether you love Barbie or hate Barbie, you're going to love the film. So I would heartily encourage everyone
Heartily
to see
recommend
it.
that.
I do, absolutely. Brother from another gutter, what to say?
I've no problem with blaming the dog. Also, I've got a bit of a problem with it. He says, I'm a man's man, and then it turns out he's lopping bits off Barbie. Not very much of a man's man there, clearly. But the real problem here is with the parents who haven't worked out that he's clearly responsible. You have to be Poirot to work this one out.
Correct.
Who's the one who's been blaming everyone else for the vomit? Turns out the sister's been dobbing him in, and he's gone after her dolls. How have you not worked that out? So for that reason, I'm going to forgive, because clearly his parents were a bit thick.
Also for not patrolling the elderflower wine.
Yes. Yeah, you should have been in charge of the wine.
Yes.
What are you doing letting your 14-year-old? Oh, yes.